Hi everyone, and welcome to another Crafty Christmas at Doolally Crafts. This is the card we're making today. I think it is so cute. I saw that Dawn from Dawn's Stamping Thoughts has also put one together. This one is in Aussie sizes, so it actually fills a C6 envelope because it's actually made to the size of 4 by 6 inches, so it's a little bit bigger than the American size. I've decorated it once again with the Santa's Workshop because this card and this suite go together perfectly. I've actually used some of my embellishments from last year, which are the frosted sequins, but you could actually use the sequins that are in this year's catalogue, which is the metallic sequins assortment, and it would just give it a bit of flair. But as you can see, these snowflakes are gorgeous. You could actually use the small snowflake out of the die set from Santa's Signpost. We have a really tiny little snowflake which is probably about the same size as that, just not quite as detailed, but you could use that in this card. Okay, I'm waffling as usual, so I will just set that over there. Now, as usual, everything, all the sizes and everything can be found on my blog. I've just pre-cut some things beforehand so that I've got them all ready to go and the video won't go as long. Now, the two colours that I'm using today are Call Me Clover and the Tuxedo Black as far as ink colours go. As you can see, I've fussy cut that piece, and there is another piece. There we go. I've fussy cut those two pieces because they don't have dies, but I wanted to use these on this card. I die cut all of my other little pieces out to decorate with. We're going to need some Stampin' Dimensionals. I've pre-cut my Candy Stripe card. Now, I do have some scraps here. I needed white scrap for the front sentiment and some cardstock to mount it on, and as I said, everything else has been pre-cut. I actually double cut that one. I don't need two pieces. Okay, now I've also got a piece of window sheet. You won't be able to see that very clearly, but it is there. Now, what I'm going to do, I'll just pop all of those off. Just realised my mat's gone askew, so I'm just going to pop all of these off to the side here so that I know where they are for later. Now, I've just got the one piece of cardstock here, but I've kept it whole because I want to score it in one go and then cut it in half. So as you can see, it measures 8 inches by 6.5. Now, on the 8-inch side, trying to think, no, on the 6.5-inch side, you need to score it at 6 inches. So that will be our connection piece. Now, we also need to score it at 4 inches. And turn it halfway and score it at 2 inches. So you turn it, you start off by scoring on the 6-inch side at 4 inches and 6 inches. Then turn it round and score it at 2 inches and at 6 inches, but only down to the second score line, because this is our back piece and that doesn't need to fold down. So that's all the scoring you need to do on the large piece. So I'll pop that aside, and I'm going to bring in the other piece, which is 5 inches by 4 inches, and I need to score that at 4.5 inches at both ends. So 1/2 inch and 4.5 inches, or 4.5 inches both ends if it's too fiddly for you to score there. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and with this piece I've just scored at 1/2 inch both ends. I'm going to cut that in half, so I have two pieces that are now 5 inches by 2 inches. Pop that aside. And I've just lost half my pieces off the side there. Now, on the 8-inch side of the larger piece that we've just scored, you need to take that to 4 inches and cut it in half. And there is the basis of our card. Pop that aside and pick these pieces up that have fallen, because before we actually put this together, I'm going to put all of the pieces in that I can. Now, this is our background piece, and I love these little snowmen. So I'm going to bring him in, and I'm just going to attach him to the back piece, which, as I said, is this piece that doesn't have a score. So I'm just going to mount him in the middle there, and that's got an 1/8 inch border all the way around. Now, with these other pieces, we're going to mount these candy stripe pieces. Okay, so what I need to do first is, on these score marks here, cut down both of those, like so. But I'm not actually going to cut that piece off, or am I? Yes, I do. Sorry about that. So you just cut that little piece on an angle on there. Okay, so move that aside, and then we bring this piece in, and as I said, it's going to be identical to that. So to start off with, we'll angle that piece and then cut down this piece here and cut the score mark out. Just neaten that up a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to cut down top to bottom, from the top to the middle score line at the 2-inch mark. And that's all we need to do on that piece. And then, just trying to think how they're getting folded. I've confused myself here a little bit. So we'll just score on those score lines. And on that one. That's why I have confused myself. But I'm going to score both ways so that the card folds nicely in the envelope and will sit nicely. So we've got that piece, and we'll do the same on this piece. So it's got to go that way and be scored, be burnished, and then those pieces have to be burnished, and that piece has to be burnished. Okay, so we've got those pieces. Now this is going to connect like that, and now I realise I've done the wrong thing. So I'm just going to take that off. Thankfully I didn't press it down too heavily, so we'll leave that aside for a moment. And I'm just going to trim down this piece here and take out the score mark. That's neater. Okay, now we've got these two pieces like so, so we're going to turn one against the other, and these connection pieces I'm going to actually put some score tape, if I can find the end. This is actually 1/2 inch score tape, so it fits there perfectly. So that's one. Two. Now it doesn't matter about the overhang at the top there, because when you peel it off you can just turn that piece in and it'll give it a bit of extra sticky at the top there. Same with this one, just flip that in. There we go. So fold that piece over and just connect. Oops. Those two pieces like so, and give it a burnish. Bring this piece over and do the same thing here and give it a burnish. I've got a bit of sticky sticking out there, and I'm just looking for my, there we go, my glue eraser, and give that a bit of a rub to take the sticky. If you don't have a glue eraser, just get your embossing buddy and just pop that over to take the sticky off. Okay, so we have that piece now. So what we're going to do is fold this front piece over and bring in the first bit of candy stripe and just stick that so that it's got a 1/8 inch border all the way around. Pull down the small piece, another piece of your candy stripe, and I want them all going the same way, so I'll just give that a 90-degree turn, and there we go, that's that one. Fold it over that way, bring this piece down and do the same here, but I'm just going to trim off, whoops, just this piece here, which is the score. That's better. Okay, so pop that piece down, bit of double-sided tape on the back of that, 90-degree turn so that it's all pointing in the same direction, and just pop that down. So there we go, we've got our fold out pieces. Now we'll bring our backing piece back in, add a bit more double-sided tape to the back, and then just fish it in so that it's got that 1/8 inch border all the way around the back again, like so, and then give it a rub over with the bone folder to make sure it's fastened down. And there you go, there's the makings, the beginning of your box card. So I'm just going to pop that aside and bring in the two pieces that we scored before, the two 2-inch pieces, and I'm just going to pop them into my embossing folder. And this is the Swirls and Curls. I've used it on quite a few of these cards. It's in our new autumn winter catalogue, so I'm just going to run this through the Big Shot. I'll be right back. Okay, so there's our curled Swirls and Curls, and I'm just going to reinforce the two fold lines at either end, like so, and the same on this end. One gets folded forward and the other gets folded backwards. That's not actually folding properly. There we go. So they will both look like that, and they are going to go inside our card. So when they fold, because the card's going to fold that way, I want them to go lengthways in the card like that. So what I want to do is put a little bit of double-sided tape down both sides of the folds, one on the back and one on the front. I think it is it? Hang on, I'll just check with that. Yes, one on the, when it sits like that, you want tape on the front of that one and the back of that one. So we'll flip that over, and that way this piece of card will actually sit flat inside the card when it's folded. So just give them a burnish on those, so on to make sure that's stuck. I'm all fingers, thumbs and tongue-tied today, and I don't know why. Okay, what we're going to do, stick this piece right into that back corner, like so, and then just keep the whole card flat and burnish down that side where that part is. Flip it round and give it a burnish there, and I've cut this a little bit crookedly, so I'm going to just trim a little bit off there, and there we go. That one will sit nice and flat in there. And then we do the same with this piece, so we're going to put a little bit on the back here and a little bit on the front here. Whoops. There we go. Give it a burnish. Make sure that it's really well adhered. And for some reason I can't, it's so well adhered I can't get the backing off. Okay, now with this piece we want this right up here in this corner. So we will pop that there, and then just fold it flat again, burnish this side, and then there, which is where the other piece ends. And there you go. You've got the card, and the pieces inside will be perfectly positioned. Okay, now is the fun part, where we are going to start putting our pieces, our pop-up pieces in here. So we will bring them all in. My little, now because the die for this cut them separately, I don't know why they had it set up that way, but it actually cuts the presents and the little carts separately, which I thought they would have made it one complete piece, but oh well. We're going to flip that over, and I'm just going to take a little bit of card, just a really tiny scrap, put some glue on the back of it, and I'm just going to pop the cart over it and then fit the present back into where it should be. And there you go, you've got the complete die again. Much better. Okay, so we've got our little fellas here. We've got Santa on his sleigh, and unfortunately that's going to block off our little... Sorry about that, I got cut off. Okay, plenty of double-sided adhesive on the back of Santa's sleigh so that he can sit there. Now, I need to, with my Memento Black, stamp North Pole, as always, on our little signpost. Pop that aside, and that can be popped. See, now Santa's should be in the opposite direction because he's leaving the North Pole, so there's a bit of a mistake in that. Okay, I'm just going to pop this behind the sleigh. So I want some glue on the front, and I'll bring that in, and I need it to stand up straight. So there we go. You can't really see all of it, but that's okay. Bring in our two little elves, some glue on the back of him, and pop him over here, and then some glue on the back of this fella, and he can go over here. And then we will pop our little trolley or cart of presents in the front there. So that's how that's going to look. He can go aside for next time. Okay, now I'm going to bring in the window sheet and bring in some glue dots and my snowflakes from last year's catalogue and my take your pick tool. Pull off a little bit of the putty, and then what did I do with my glue dots? Okay, pop a glue dot on the back, and I'm just going to stick that right at the top of the window sheet. Come in with the next one and do the same thing, but pop this down a little bit further, like so, and then trim that off. Do the same again with the next one. There we go, up the top there, and then another one part the way down, like that. And I've got too much putty coming off there. Okay, next one. And I'm just going to pop that at the top there, another one just in the middle there, and I'm going to trim just behind this one straight across. They don't have to be long pieces, as you will see. I'm trimming this one just above that one, and then this one a little bit lower. So I don't know how to show you this. I don't know whether you can see it, but it's only probably an inch long, that piece. And that is because when I bring in my glue dots, I'm going to stick a glue dot on the bottom of that. I might actually pop two in, like so, and then I'm going to bring this behind and just pop that behind my elf. So it looks like he's got a snowflake dropping on his head. And the same just above our North Pole sign. Can you see those? I hope so. Okay, pop that aside, and then bring this one in, which is a bit longer, and it's got two snowflakes on it. So I'm going to pop a little bit of glue dot on there, and then stick that just behind Santa in his... Hang on, I can't have it too high. Just behind the Santa's sleigh there. You've got to remember that the envelope is only about 4.5 inches tall here in Australia, or 4 1/4. So you've got to make sure that the snowflakes don't sit too high. Okay, next, another 2 glue dots on the bottom of this piece, and I'm just going to stick that behind the elf and the presents. Now I'm going to sit it flat for a minute, because we've got those pieces all on now, and so I'm going to bring in some rhinestones, and I'm going to pop those in the center of each of my snowflakes. Now these just in the top there, and there we go. That's all of the snowflakes done. So I'll move those aside, and I'm going to bring in our last couple of pieces of cardstock. We've got a scrap of Whisper White and a scrap of the, I think it's Call Me Clover, and I'm going to bring in my Merry Christmas, which is from the Timeless Tidings stamp set. This card unfortunately isn't just a one stamp set or one bundle card. There we go. There's Merry Christmas. It's a bit high. but it's stamped really well, so I'm going to keep it. Okay, so we're just going to trim that off there. Get rid of the Call Me Clover, because with my luck it'll end up everywhere. And I'm going to pop this onto the Call Me Clover scrap and just have a nice 1/8 inch border all the way around. And in with my larger scissors so that I can get a more straight cut along there, like so, and that looks really good. And then bring in our card, and I did have my dimensionals here, and pop 3 dimensionals on the back. I'm putting 3 on because it's got to adhere to the flocked paper, so I want it to adhere well. So take the backing off those, bring this back in, and just try and make sure that it's in the approximate centre. I'm going to bring in one more of my rhinestones and just put it over the top. Get that glue folded over there. And just pop it over the top of the eye in Christmas. And that's our card complete. I actually really think this card's so cute. It doesn't do it justice here because it's laying flat. That one was done with Garden Green, and this is with the Call Me Clover. It'll look really good when you see it standing upright in the photos, or at least I think it will. I hope you've enjoyed today's card and you'll give it a go, despite how badly I was describing how to put it together. But I hope you liked today's card and you will give it a go. That's all from me until next time. I'll see you later. Bye bye.